Okay, so firstly, for everybody that's here and participating in today's event, specifically Men's Health and Celebrating Wheels, thank you for being here. It's much appreciated. We will thank the committee that has set up everything here later in the appropriate way. But the importance is that this morning we had Dr. Tsagani on air from Lancet. He's a chemical pathologist, and he's obviously a specialist in the issue of men's health and PSA tests and those type of things. And then we had a urologist here now on the radio with 90.6, Dr. Purdy. He specializes in the treatment of the consequence of the PSA test to make sure that the males is there. And on the radio we actually with Sarah Jane challenged all the men to say, hey, your wife must not drag you for a test here to Christiansbrug. Go for a test yourself. Pathcare is here, Lancet is here. If you want a referral, that can happen as well. Let us males now stand up and show our braveness and go to Lancet and Path to screen ourselves and make the necessary arrangements for the PSA test and so forth going forward. For the month of November, the PSA test will be half price because of the event and men's health and celebrating men's health in general in November. So I think that is important things to realize. Now I'm going to hand over to Ramona. Ramona is the manager from Lancet. To me, when I first met her on WhatsApp, and the first discussion was the most amazing discussion, to see the energy and the passion that she's got for her job. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that, and I'm going to hand over to you.
Lancet! Okay, I've just basically been by Louis just to speak to you guys about prostate cancer and the awareness of prostate cancer. It's so important because early detection can actually save lives. Now, if you don't know where your prostate is, you're obviously not alone, because most men actually don't know where it is. But you should, because millions of people suffer from prostate conditions that negatively influence their quality of life. The prostate is part of a man's reproductive system that is found in front of the rectum and under the bladder. So this is where your asshole of poor. The prostate is a donut shaped and surrounds the urethra, which is where the urine and the semen tube is found. A healthy prostate is about the size of a walnut. So the prostate gland, it makes part of the seminal fluid during ejaculation. I'm sure you all know what ejaculation is. The seminal fluid helps carry the sperm out of the man's body. So when we're looking at the prostate, that is the actual organ. The enlargement creates abnormalities. What is prostate cancer as a whole? So prostate cancer is cancer that starts in the prostate gland. It is the most common non-skin cancer in men worldwide. Prostate cancer is the most common cause of death from cancer in men over the age of 75. It is rarely found in males younger than 40, and if the prostate grows too large, it squeezes the urethra. This may slow or stop the normal flow of urine. What is the warning signs? So this is what you must look out for. Frequent need to urinate, especially at night, and that is not after you had a couple of pints of brandewijn or beer. Poor stream, dribbling and burning, sexual dysfunction, weight loss, and body pain. But there are often no early symptoms, which is why it is important to have regular medical checkups. Who is at risk of getting prostate cancer? Men older than 50 and men with a family history of prostate cancer. Screening from the age of 40 is recommended for those with a family history of prostate cancer and of breast cancer and in Black African patients. If you are not at high risk, then you should screen from the age of 45 unless you have any of the warning signs, in which case you should screen immediately. Okay, now we're going part to the screening of prostate cancer with the urologist and the importance of doing a PSA test, which is your prostate-specific antigen testing, which both Lancet and Fatcare offer. The only way a doctor can examine your prostate is to perform a digital rectal examination or finger test. He needs to insert a gloved, lubricated finger into the rectum and press the bowel wall to check the size of the prostate and for any lumps. This can be uncomfortable, but a minute of the discomfort can save your life. The prostate exam is considered to be the best screening test for prostate cancer. Early detection and diagnosis is the best possible solution. Men can recover from prostate cancer, so there is hope. Coming now to the laboratory testing, which is where we basically go in and test for PSA. It's a non-invasive test, and we just basically take a little blood from your venous blood, which is around here, and it goes through to our laboratory, and we basically test whether it's raised or not. So the blood test for prostate cancer is the prostate-specific antigen, or PSA. The PSA test measures the blood level of PSA, a protein produced by the prostate gland. The higher the man's PSA level, the more likely it is that he has prostate cancer. But there are other reasons for high prostate levels, or PSA levels. And some men who have prostate cancer do not have high PSA levels. You need to have a detailed discussion with your doctor about the pros and cons of having a PSA test. You need to have a detailed study performed in European Journal of Cancer in October 2029, stated that prostate screening reduces prostate cancer deaths by 37%. If either the physical exam or the PSA test suggests a problem, your doctor might advise you to have a biopsy. A needle is inserted under anesthetic, either through the rectum wall or the skin between the rectum and the scrotum. Multiple tissue samples are removed and examined under a microscope. This is the best way to diagnose prostate cancer and predict whether it is slow growing or aggressive. And now finally, we're going to talk about the treatment of prostate cancer in various forms of treatment, including surgery, radiation and hormonal treatment. Used singly or combined, treatment is highly individualized and is planned according to the clinical findings. The either prostate cancer is diagnosed, the better the outcome is. So in my last conclusion, early detection and treatment can save your life. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
What does it feel like?
You're joking with me. He's mocking me. Is your prostate stimulating antigen decreases with your age. So that's why they said test it at older stage, because if it's high at older stage, it means that your prostate is enlarged and will need further investigations. So sometimes it can occur without symptoms.
And sit. And just to further qualify my question, for years now already, this body has been struggling to lose weight, so I don't have one of the telltale symptoms. That despite, I will come round as soon as Ricardo, our motivational speaker, comes up to tell you more about the wonderful inspirational stories he has, which could inspire each and every one of us here today. Ricardo, you're up next, sir. Round of applause for young Ricardo.
Yes, is that the best you can do? Come on, man. Ek sien hom sit mense hande so so come on guys. Give me a round of applause, please, man. Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's count to 3 and let's do like an old age. 1, 2, 3. What do you think? Okay, one more. Let's try it one more time. But guys, put in everything. You're going to see where this goes. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there we go. Thank you. I feel so welcome. Thank you for making me feel so welcome. I appreciate it. So guys, yes, my name is Ricardo Vera. I'm also known as Hendrik Stefanus Erasmus. Ek was gebore as Hendrik Stefanus Erasmus. When I left school, I met a Portuguese girl. Sy was pragtig. Die ouens op skool het my baie geterg oor die naam. Hendrik en daar kom jy eier en so voort. So ek was baie geterg daaroor en toe ek in die skool het stond, moet ek die jong dame, sy was eers, maar sy was mooi hoor, Portuguese girl. Jo, lekker man. And she asked me my name, so I couldn't even say Hendrik, so I said Ricardo, because the English guys used to call me Ricky or Ricardo. En toe vra sy my van, nou kan ek nie vir haar sê Ricardo Erasmus nie. Dit klink vir ons nou net erg. So I said Ricardo Vera. En toe, dis waar Ricardo Vera gebore is. And then in 2005, I decided I was going to change my name officially, so Ricardo Vera, en amper die dag voordat my aansoekvorm ingesit het, toe dink ek maar sal kwaai wees om 'n middelnaam te hê. Toe sit ek Ricardo Enrico Vieira. En dit het vir my gewerk, ja. Wat ek nie besef het nie, is that the name Hendrik, which means, okay, I'm going to actually stop myself there. The name Ricardo means fearless warrior. Okay? The name Hendrik means leader of the home. And I thought I was running away from the name Hendrik, but when I put Enrico between Ricardo and Vieira, I didn't realize that in some subtle way I held on to my identity, a part of my original identity. And I'm sharing this with you because, you know, when it comes to depression and things like that, a big part of what impacts us and how we are impacted is our identity. Who are we? This crisis that we're going through. And just to tell you that, you know, 12 years ago, I was addicted to crystal meth, crack cocaine. I was injecting crystal 7-8 times a day. I was on heroin. You name it, I was clapping it. I started dealing and, you know, started tasting my own product. I was a brilliant dealer. Yes, ek het geld gemaak hoor. But then when I started taking it, that's where the problem started. And because I have a relatively ordentlike, I'm very prone to addiction, I found myself sitting in a house. And Owens, they say, in the time that I was in this property, the cops raided the place 17 times, Nigerians broke the door down. I was in a state of absolute fear. Until one morning at 3 o'clock in the morning, sit there, and I sat on in my lounge. My dogs, the 3 dogs I had, were barking ferociously into this blank wall, and I was sitting up against the wall. Mense, I was crying like a baby. Dis maar chunk hoor. En ek praat nie van chunk waar die traantjie is, you know, 1 of 2 traantjies nie. I'm talking about a solid stream of tears. And I'm sitting against the wall and I said, if there's a God out there, it was more like, if there's a God out there, just reveal yourself to me. Yes, a big chunk. Anyway, so the next day, you know, we start over, go and order my drugs, and I'll clap it again. And about a week later, I hear a knock at the door. Ek stap na die deur toe en daar sê die ou se naam is Pieter. Hoe weet ek? Want hy sê vir my, hallo, my naam is Pieter. Ek sê, hallo Pieter, hy sê, man, ek sien die huis is op die mark, daar sê die van mark af. Do you mind if I come and take a look at the house? I said, no, pull in, bro. Took him through the house, which was empty. I still remember telling him the furniture's still on its way. We got back to the front door, this guy stops, he turns around and he looks at me. Maar is amper asof hy so deur my kyk. I was on my 4th shot of crystal for the day. And he says to me, sorry, what's your name? I said, Ricardo. He says, Ricardo, I'm so sorry for lying to you. Now with all the things happening in the house, I mean, even the guy that I thought was the owner arrived at the door one day in handcuffs with 3 policemen. They said they need to go to the back of the garden. I said, why? They said, police business. I said, well, off you go. And they went to the back of the garden. And they dug out a shotgun and a Glock, 1 or 2 other firearms that had been used as part of the cash and transit heist. So the house that I was staying in was actually a stash space. The guys obviously had done the heist. And then I could never understand why the staircase had been dug out. Het het niet vir my sin gemaak, but then it was revealed to me over time that, you know, what had transpired. And so this was my circumstance. Jy weet, hulle praat altyd so van rock bottom. You know, who can tell me what is rock bottom? Is there anyone here that's got an indication of rock bottom? I think you guys? Anyone? What's rock bottom?
That means lower than low.
Lower than low.
Flat.
Flat. I believe that rock bottom is when you die. And that's just my personal opinion because is it not?
I think at that point dying is much better.
Sorry?
I think at that point dying is much better.
100%.
So that's rock bottom.
That's it. 100% is when you are rock bottom, you are dead inside. You have lost all hope. Dis amper asof daar niks is, niemand kan enigiets sê om jou te bring na 'n plek toe waar jy nou kan reageer teenoor die dinge wat in jou lewe aangaan in a normal manner. That's a tough place. Anyway, so this guy came to the house, and to me it was only a few days later that I realized that a week before I had sat up against the wall crying like a baby. Owens, I've only seen one other person cry like that, and I'll tell you about him a little later, because what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how I use the African drum as a medium to express certain principles that when applied really can hold huge benefit to us as individuals within our own lives. Understanding that God has given us only one thing that nobody can take away. Who can tell me what that is? Anyone? What has God given every single one of you? Okay, a soul. Okay, we all have souls. Anyone? Choice. He's given us free will. So when we talk about depression, man, I was so depressed. I mean, I remember times being so depressed. I was staying at a friend of mine's house. I had just come from the Vaal. I was staying in the Vaal. I went to Joburg. And it just seemed like I was encountering conflict wherever I went. It's elke persoon, dis dan wil ek beklei. And my ego was so huge. Nobody could tell me what to do. Yes, and ek beklei met hierdie en ek beklei met daan, and I started feeling the ramifications of these things because people were turning away from me, rejecting me. Rejection, which is something that I've experienced from a child, which is, I've now learned to understand that rejection is the core issue that has brought about the depression in my life. Because along with that come the attitudes that push people away. So I was at my friend Trevor's place, and with all this happening, this is now the second time that I'm sort of feeling like I'm hitting rock bottom, and I said, that's it. So I went and I bought myself 2 grams of crystal meth. And normally if I was inject, I'd take like of a bag, I would maybe have a quarter or a need to feel knee. And I popped that 2 grams into that syringe. And if just before you're about to take it, there's anticipation. You haven't taken it yet, but just the spiritual attachment to drugs is so strong that before even putting the needle in, when you fasten it with the elastic already, it's like, hier kom 'n ding, nou is ek reg. And remember, that goes straight into your blood, and we've got to talk about the blood because, you know, Dr. Pathologist talking about the importance of tests and so forth. Sorry, net 'n slukkie water kry. Weet julle wat se koeldrank is dit?
Dis miskien nie goed.
Ja, ek gaan net nou borrel, broer. I heard petrol on that side, great landing, but wrong planet. So I'm sitting on the, en nou maak ek my toe, ek maak die gordyne toe. Ouens, dit was tyd. It was time to say, I'm finished. I'm sorry, I don't want to be here anymore. Anyway, I put that shot in. Yes, and ek wag ek. Yeah, the moment I put it in, nou verwag ek. And I have this expectation that, hier kom 'n ding. But you know what? Nothing. And I know that it was decent. I mean, I knew a little bit about substance. I knew the quality, like a Ek lê daar vir 'n uur. And after that hour, I realized I've been given a second chance here. I got off my bed, I climbed into the end of the bed. I went on my knees and I just said, Lord, ek is jammer. I'm so sorry. And that was probably the first act of humility, void of ego. And you know, ons manne, ons praat mos nie oor dinge wat sensitief is nie. Ons, jy weet, that's a South African thing. I think it's a worldwide thing. I mean, especially Australians, Kiwis. Kiwi's a bit more softer. That's for you, Noreen. All blacks. Julle gaan be like, hey, fuck. Okay, so for a man to say, ouens, ek het 'n probleem. Now, I've been to a couple of churches and die ouens sê, hier is 'n plek waar manne kan praat oor dinge wat jy nie met jou vrou of met ander mense, ander vrouens kan praat, met vrouens kan gesels nie. En dan sit ek terug en sê, Jesus, nou hierdie gaan lekker wees. Hier kan 'n ou nou gesels. En dan hoor jy die gesprekke en die ouens praat nie van die hart nie. You know, when a man can speak from the heart and a man can cry in front of another man from his heart, that's a great place to start, because that's the very foundation of humility, isn't it? When you can let go of all the things that you think make you a man. It's not the size of your muscles, it's not the size of your pecs, of your calves, of your car, although, hang on, ons manne met karre is so sorry ouens. Couple of lekker vehicles out here. Anyway, so the reason I share this is because ek was maar een van die ouens wat, ek was altyd 'n emosionele ou, jy weet, and people always said, you know, you talk too much. Or, you know, you're too emotional. And as people were saying these things, I started believing it. And I got to a point where, waar lê my waarde? You know, I'm the one knocking myself out because of things that happened in the past. I'm my own worst enemy. Hey, and then I met Jesus. The oak that said to me, he showed me, he said, listen, I'm going to die for you. And then I started thinking about this and I thought, you know, who here believes in Jesus, if I may ask? Anyone? Yes. Okay, I love it. Daai mense wat nie glo julle ook? Oh, sorry. You know, ons praat nou net van manne wat skaam is. Ek wil vir julle vra, you know, the one thing we should not be ashamed of is what we believe. Because if you are in contradiction with what you believe, I remember being around people en hulle praat dinge van die Here en they're making a mockery, maar bly stil. The Bible says, he who, what does the Bible say? He who denies me before man, I will deny him before my Father. And so it's important, and I'm mentioning this because at some stage, if we're going through depression of sorts, we need to call upon a higher power. Because let me tell you, your psychotherapist, jy gaan vir hulle vertel and they're just going to throw things back at you. But when you can, as jy 'n kar het, wat se kar ry jy, Boeta? A Renault. Okay, so you got a Renault and but trust me, I've got a 1972 Ford Escort. Die head gasket, my broer, hy staan vir 7 maande. So as julle ouens weet van iemand wat 'n bakkie wil sponsor, dis ons nou lekker praat. In fact, I got to just sort of divert you. I was sitting in my car in the beginning of the year, I've got a Ford Escort, and I gave my car a can of oil and I was having a beer and I said to my car, you know, these are my New Year's resolutions, and I shared my New Year's resolutions. And then I turned to my car, my baby, and I said, so baby, what's your New Year's resolution? She was me, oh, by the end of the year, I want to be a Ford Ranger. Okay, so you're going to take your Renault to this lady that was sharing here now and say to her, fix my car. Are you?
I'll try. I can't guarantee it's coming back right.
Why wouldn't you?
Because it requires specialists.
Because she doesn't have a clue. She's a specialist in her area and she knows what she knows. You take it to your mechanic and he knows, well, some of them don't, but as best as they can. We're not perfect. But then we turn to our souls. Soos jy nou net gesê, we turn to our souls. Who do we turn to? Who do we turn to? We turn to God. How do we do so? Pray. Do we pray like this?
You can if you want.
We pray like this?
If you want.
The beautiful thing is God accepts us as we are. And so I'm sharing this as sort of a foundation, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I use this drum symbolically. And dan gaan ek 'n paar manne, ek wil graag jy moet opkom, but when I call you, I'd like you to come up, lady, young lady, you've been quite involved. And then that toppie there, daai man daar, ja, jy met die hoetjie, you must be ready. I'm going to call you up just now, hey, don't run away. That's, yeah, okay, lekker. All right, so I just want to take it back and tell you a little bit more about my history. So when I was younger, my mother was into prostitution and drugs, I was taken away from her at the age of 1. She was sent to jail for 2 years for kidnapping. She only got 2 years, so at the age of 3 I got released back into her custody. At which time she got married to a guy who used to take cigarettes and kill them on my body. My whole body was full of burn marks. The neighbors next door saw it, they called the welfare, and I was now in the system. And so I went from family to, and all I was looking for was net 'n bietjie liefde, just to be held, just to be careful, the things that we should be, offering our youth, because hoekom het ons issues met ons jeug? Because there's no authority, or few authority. And I want to talk about that issue, of that point of authority, because with my ego, my pride, ek het pak gekry op school. In fact, my teacher, as julle almal omkyk, daar sit 'n man met 'n groot baard. Hy lyk so Kersvader, kyk, draai almal, sien julle hom, waai gou oom. So dis meneer Pistorius, hy was op skool. Hy was een van my onnies, en daar was 'n bietjie autoriteit. But from when I left school, there was nothing, and nobody tells me what to do. Man, I tell you, the amount of suffering that I've gone through before because of it, the amount of opportunities that I've lost because I wasn't able to just submit. The thing about authority is that you cannot have authority unless you are under authority. So most of you husbands, you're probably under the authority of your wives.
Yes.
Yes, was that a yes? No. Okay, I'm just joking actually. Okay. So, because of this lack of authority, I was very rebellious. And what I did, so nou nog 'n watertjie, sorry, julle is baie warm hier buite. Oh, in case you were wondering, dit is 'n watertjie met 'n klein bietjie cream soda. Okay, so there's no negative response to that, I appreciate that. So then I was eventually fostered by a family. Ek was met hulle vir 5 jaar gewees. Die peerpa wat ek gehad het, my groot pakslag gegee. When he gave me a hiding, it wasn't a hiding, it was brutal. Daar's 'n mooi term daarvoor. Wie kan daai term uitspreek? Sorry? Corporal punishment, 'n bietjie harder. Ja, corporal punishment we got at school. Mr. Laatgang used to have this cane, this long cane that was dipped in salt water. Ek guess I don't get pits. But my foster father used to hit me so hard. It was brutal, it was aggressive. He hit me so hard once that I couldn't go to school for 2 days. And so this was what I was brought up with. And at the age of 12, his wife died. And I heard his husband, his sister in the room next door on the day of the funeral saying, this boy, you must get rid of him. He's going to be problems. Hy gaan probleme wees. So already now, there's all this rejection, all these things that have happened that are not affecting me yet as a child, because the beautiful thing about being a child is that God gives you a certain degree of grace. And that's why it's so important, guys, that how we treat our children, man, it's so important. And so, after my foster father, about probably 3 or 4 weeks later, I got notification that I was going back to the welfare. And from the welfare, I went to Emmersdale High School, where I met Mr. Pistorius. But the year afterwards, I was raped by a man. At the age of 13, I've now just been rejected. I've been sent back to a place that I don't know. And I was raped by a man, and it is vir my baie interessant, jy weet, hoeveel manne gaan praat daaroor? Honestly, because ons doen dit mos nie. Just as we don't talk about depression, just as we don't talk about, because where is the platform that we can do so? Where is the place that we can go to where as manne, en die ene gaan nie vir daai ene vertel nou wat ek nou gedeel het nie, because trust is a big thing, eh? So I say trust in the Lord. The Bible says in Psalms 118 verses 8, do not put your confidence in man, but trust in the Lord. Why? Because people are fallible. I'm fallible. Manne, mense, dames, ek is vol fallibility. Ek maak foute left, right and center. So I'm going to so from there basically I went to Emmersdale High School. I left school, and it was only when I was 38 years old. Ek was 38, ek was in New Zealand gewees. I was involved with an organization called Youthline. So Lifeline, you see someone from above? It's like Lifeline, but they deal with children. And I do their personal growth, basic counseling courses. Man, ek is reg op my phone toe kom en sê, ouens sê, ek is hier om te help. Then they said to me, but sorry, we can't help. We can't get you involved in getting on the phones because you've got issues. Well, you do a timeline, and in that timeline you have to sort of put down things that have transpired, and you have to find closure in those areas, because if you don't, and you're sitting across from someone that you're counseling, and they say something to you that resonates with you to the point where you actually then react, then it has negative consequences. So I said, okay, yeah, so what do we do now? They said, we want you to go and speak to someone, his name's Brad. So I went and I spoke to this oud Brad, en ek saw hom, en ek vertel Brad my story. Jy weet, daai ding wat elkeen van ons ronddra, and we carry it unnecessarily, but it's a thing that we carry around with us, that, yes, jy weet, hierdie issue, en dan tel ons daai en op, en eventually, ja, ons voel so swaar, hoekom is dinge so swaar? Because we don't let it go. And I told him this, I told him about burnt to cigarettes, mum into prostitution, yada yada. He says to me, you know what, I'm so sorry you went through that, but you know what, you need to take responsibility for those things. I looked at him, I said, nee Paul, jy kan ek verantwoordelik neem vir iets wat buite my beheer is. How can I take responsibility for something outside of my control? And for some people, depression is something that's outside of their control, because it's not just a mental thing, it's also a physiological thing. There's chemical imbalances, there's reasons why. So medication's always a good plan. So I still remember him sitting there, and he put his hand on his chin and he looked at me and said, you know what, Ricardo, you're absolutely right. Ek sit natuurlijk terug, ja, of course I'm right. And then he says to me, you can't take responsibility for things outside of your control. He says to me, however, and this is, guys, this is gold. If you remember this and you apply this, it's absolute gold. In terms of letting go of things that have passed, he says, you can't take responsibility for things outside of your control. However, you need to be accountable for how you choose to hold on to these things. Now remember when I started, I said there's something that we're all given that nobody can take away, and that's free will. So when we have free will and free access to making whatever choices, and we find ourselves in depression where we can't make those choices because everything is so swaar. What I'm going to do now, and if you don't mind, sorry guys, this is Jeffrey. Jeffrey's been kind enough, because we were looking for a stand, you know, for the microphone, and he's going to be my human stand. So thank you in anticipation, buddy.
Yeah! She's got some treats for the kids. Moms, dads, there you go.
I just want to say thank you to my mommy, my daddy, my brothers and sisters for their support over the many years. Okay, so I'm going to play this drum, and I want you guys to tell me if this is the way the drum must sound. Is that the way it must sound? Does it sound lekker? Who thinks that sounds good? Anyone? Lekker? Nice. Is it the way... As well? Klink lekker, no. Is it the way it should sound? Why is that? It's got the cover on. You can't see the drum, can you? Okay, so I'm going to take this cover off. And I'm going to play it again. Sound better? 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 Almost sounds the same, hey? Same? Tell me if there's any difference. Okay. Getting there. Can you hear the difference? Okay. Now, okay. So, thank you. That's it. So the reason I do that is that every single one of these little panels represents a mask that we wear. And these masks could be anything. It could be the lies that people have told us throughout our life, that we've believed, that you're not worthy, jy's werd niks nie, you scum, or there's no value attached to any part of your existence. It could be the lies you tell yourself about, I'm okay, daar's nie 'n probleem nie, even though I'm injecting 7-8 times a day, there's no issues. And so these are all the masks that we wear, and these masks prevent us from experiencing the life and the joy that we deserve, that we were intended to enjoy. So now this is, I'm going to break the drum down, and I'm going to explain to you every component of the drum. This is the skin. This is where life happens. Now remember, can I say, sorry, what's your name, buddy? Can I hold Kobus responsible for the sound that's coming out of this drum? Can I? Yes or no? No. Why? Do you want to take responsibility for what's coming out of this drum?
I can, yes.
But you're not holding the drum.
Exactly.
Okay, so you can't take responsibility. Okay, so now that we've got that clear. So I've got the drum. This drum is now essentially an extension of me, and I'm using a metaphorical sort of a simulation here. So whatever I put into this drum, I'm going to go. So if I, Jeffy, please. So if I play like this, like this. And how many of us wake up in the morning? Yes, ons is nie lus nie, ouma. Yes, we wake up and ma, moet nog net 5 minute. And dan is nog net 10 minutes, and when you're going through depression, you wake up, you don't even have those conversations with yourself. You just turn over and go back to sleep, and then you wake up and you realize I'm a little hungry, and yes, maar die plek like morsig. Because there's no order, there's no structure, there's no routine, there's nothing, none of that. So whatever you put into this drum, you're going to get out. Now, if I'm walking around like this, thank you, buddy. If I'm walking around like this, do I look happy? Shoulders are forward. Oh, yeah, good morning. Oh, moet ek nou vandag opstaan? As opposed to, hello julle, hoe gaan dit? Lekker man. So, I'm doing this and demonstrating this because attitude is very important. How you adopt your attitude to life, which is what happens here, is going to, sorry, can you go there? So how you, here we go. So if I play this drum now and I go, is that energetic? Is that vibey? Is it, you know, it's like this? Why is it that we cannot wake up every morning with that sensation? What is it that prevents us? You can tell me what prevents us from experiencing that?
The trouble we're focusing in the day. We know it's coming.
Yeah, the trouble that we, oh, that's, I like that. The trouble that we know is coming. It causes to be what's happened yesterday, and the fact that you've taken what's happened yesterday and bring it along with you into today. What does the Bible say? It says, do not let the sun go down on your anger. Why? You know, if you look at Sodom and Gomorrah, and God said, listen, don't look back. As you terugkyk, as jy tickets, oh man. And what happened? The minute they turned back, they turned into stone. Why? Into salt. Why? What was the meaning behind that? The meaning was we should stop focusing on what's happened yesterday. Firstly, because we can't do anything about it. And the Bible says that we must go to sleep at night we mustn't let the sun go down on our anger. So when we wake up the next day, we leave yesterday behind. But guys, I carried a whole lifetime of stuff with me. And a part of that, and this is what I'm going to share with you next, is so important. I want to ask you, who of you have been offended by someone? Put your hands up. Please don't be scared to put your hands up. No one here is going to judge you. Who's been offended by someone? Who of you have offended someone? Who of you have hurt someone? Who of you have spoken ill of someone? I'm glad we're honest, because honesty is the first step. So, what do you think most of us carry around that we should let go? Or what is it that we should do? What is the process that the Bible tells us that we need to facilitate so we can let go?
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness. There you go. So now, I'm going to play the drum again, and guys, this is going to just blow you away. Because when I play this drum now, this skin, when I hit this skin, what happens is the skin vibrates, the sound resonates inside, and then it comes out the bottom. Where's the sound going? Nowhere. It's bottled inside, and that's what depression's like. You bottle inside, man. Ek het hier begeerd om net weg te breek. I have this deep desire just to break away from this, but I just can't. I'm going to play it again. Yes, hoe lekker is daai klank. So I'm demonstrating this because this cover, this is the problem right here. This is all the resentment, the anger, the unforgiveness that we harbor towards others. The Bible says love your neighbor as you love yourself, but it's difficult to love yourself when you're knocking yourself over the head about the things that you've done over the last 50 years. That even things that were outside of your control that you choose to hold on to because it's some sort of comfort, and that's what happens when we're depressed. Who of you, if we're honest here, guys, who of you, and this is now the question, because ons is nou bang hier dat ons nie mense moet weet nie, we don't want people to, but who of you have experienced a degree of depression? I have. You have. Just show your hands again, please. Lekker. Oaks, guys, girls. It's not restricted to just boys, but today is about the boys. Sorry, ladies. But ladies, I have to ask you, when your husband or your man is willing to come to you and say, baby, I'm going through depression, what do you think that does for the relationship? Strengthens the relationship. But we've been taught that manne praat mos oor sulke goedes nie, want ons is mos Suid-Afrikaners, ons is boere, ons praat mos nie oor sulke dinge nie. But the act of sharing it, the act of speaking, and that's the next thing, guys. Who of you can count to 4? Tel gou vir my tot 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tel gou tot 4. Tel vir my tot 4. It's always going to be the funny guy. Tel vir my tot 4. Okay, so he's not easily influenced. Alright. Okay, now the reason I do that is ek wil vra dat julle hierdie kant van daar tot daar, dat julle stadig tel tot 4 en van hierdie kant af hierso vinnig tel. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so let's not this is almost clear. So are we synergistically aligned? No. Why? Because you're a starter. Yeah, you love a starter. Okay. So when we're doing drumming, which is a community activity, when we are involved with other people and we have relationships that need to be tended to, it's good to align, it's good to surround ourselves. I know that if I go and sit with a group of oaks now that are putting needles in their arm, there'll be a time not too far from then that I'll be wanting to put a needle in my arm. So who we surround ourselves with is crucially important, especially with the youth of today. Parents letting the kids go out, they don't know who the other kids are, they don't know the influences, and they allow the kids to go out. So the reason I count is, and if you can't count, you can actually clap. But I want us all to start counting or clapping together. We're going to go to 4, and we're not just going to do it once, because your recovery from depression, from substance abuse, all these things do not happen overnight. Don't let anyone tell you you get on your knees once and it's done, because it's a process. And I want to share something with you that's very exciting. If you are going through a depression, you are blessed. This morning or yesterday, so I've been asked to do a talk at Constitution Hill next month on sexual abuse. And I was telling this lady, when I was 2 years old, and I always used to tell the story as a story. I always wanted to receive that, oh, shame. poor you. And I would share my story because all I wanted was just a bit of, you know, it was so bad for me. So I said to Larry, I said, I can't tell you how blessed I am. When I was 2, I was burnt with cigarettes. My mother was this, and I said, and I was blessed. And then I was raped at the age of 13, and wow, what a blessing. And this lady's looking at me as if I'm stupid. Like, how can you be happy about? I said, because, you know, if I didn't experience all those things, I wouldn't have walked the path that I needed to. The times when I just can't anymore, and I can swim klaar, ek wil dit opgee. That courage that it requires to stand up and say, I'm not done. Die Here weet wanneer ek gaan, maar until then, the best I can do is not give up. Just not give up. And it's moeilik, ouens, because it just feels like everything's falling apart. It feels like the world's against you, but the beautiful thing is that there's a God out there. And on my videos, I do steel work, and while I'm busy, I do a couple of videos on how to make this. And at the end of the video, I say, guys, I just want you to know there's a God out there that just loves you so much. And we're going to depression because there's a few things missing, and one of them is purpose. If you don't have a job, what are you getting up to? If you don't have love in your life, who do you have to turn to? And it can become a very, very lonely place. Trust me. So, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to break the drum down a little bit more and just give you a different perspective on the experiences that we have, if you wouldn't mind, Jeff. Thanks, buddy. Okay, so here I've got the skin. This is where life happens. Now, I want to show you something. If I sit with like this, shoulders forward, look at the position of, all of a sudden, this is perfect alignment. And I love it when I'm working with kids. Yes, and I say, come on, Alex. Up straight, and then like in 2 minutes it's back to PlayStation. So your posture, your attitude is everything. From here, easy to get to the middle of the drum, side of the drum. Then we look at the body. Now I want to tell you the one thing, thanks buddy. The one thing about every human being is that we're all unique. There's not one of us that are the same in any way. In fact, I would go so far as to say, okay, I would go so far as to say, now remember when I was tapping this drum on the second beat, can honestly any one of you tell me what you were thinking at that precise moment when I played that second beat? Anyone? Anyone? Is that a no? Yes? Anyone? Nobody? Explain. Oh, it's always going to be the funny guy.
I was listening to the speed.
Oh, you were listening to speed. Is that between the first or the second one?
The second one.
Okay, and at that moment that my finger touched, in one precise thought? Nah, probably not. Can we, and this is the big question, do you think it's possible for us to recreate that moment? Because at that moment that I'm talking about, in order for things to be the same, that fly that just flew past me, that druppeltjie water, that little drop of water that fell out of the tap, the roaring oceans, that wind, that gale force wind, the tornado, all of that needs to be in exactly the same state as it was. The Bible says don't worry about yesterday because you can't change it. We're so worried about what's coming tomorrow, but the Bible says that God will provide for us in every way. And ek is nie 'n pastoor nie, julle. I'm here as a motivational speaker, but I have to speak my truth, and my truth is that without Jesus in my life, ek is gemors. When I pray, I say, Lord, you know, dis Ricardo hier so, jy weet, ou Ricardoetjie wat, sonder die jou is ek niks nie. So now we've got the drum, we've got the bass. Now if I take a tree and I cut this tree into 4 different pieces and I make 4 different drums, I'm going to get 4 different sounds. Why? The moisture content, the density, the type of timber, all these things influence the sound. So we're all different, our bodies are different. And this is where it comes. These strings, wie van julle is van Boksburg af? Oh, it has to be better.
Wibbers.
Okay, Wibbers. So how do there's a process when it comes to the drumming. It's called tuning. So how do the Oaks in Boksburg tune their drums? How's a drum? Okay, so the act of tuning your drum is that it's got two rings, one at the top, one at the bottom, and then one over here. And so these strings go through, and the top ring is pulled down onto the bottom, which makes the skin tighter. So you'll notice that this one's got like these little things woven. When you get a new drum, these things are actually straight. And every time you tune the drum, that's when you take your extra rope and you pull it through itself, and then you tighten. And as it twists, it just tightens that little area, and then that little area, and then that little area. And I'm saying that because we think that there's always this quick fix where we can fix everything at once. It's impossible. There's so many aspects to us that need to be addressed. So the tighter these are, and remember I said to you earlier, apart from purpose, the tighter these things are, the harder the experiences, the more challenging the experiences, the better the sound. These challenges, depression, I was saying just now that you should actually rejoice at having depression, because it's a wonderful opportunity given to you to use that free will that is so freely given to you, and look for every possible way in which you can take a step outside of it. And that takes courage, guys. It takes courage to wake up in the morning. And I've got my friend here, Noreen. I've got to tell you, she's been the best friend to me in that she's honest with me about where I'm at. She'll tell me, listen, but things are not right. And I'll try and, chirp. But as I start realizing, and as I start identifying with the fact that hierdie geluid wat hierdie uitkom, all the lies, all the masks, the minute I stop lying to myself and I start being honest about who I am, that's when things start changing. So ek wil gou vra vir Kobus, as jy kan opkom, asseblief. In fact, if you wouldn't mind, just come take this to that side, and Kobus come sit vir my, so you my bass. You must get that one, and there's a reason for it. Okay, so I just want to show you quickly how to hold the drum. So the idea behind the drum is that you don't want it to move around. You don't want to have to hold it with one hand. So the best thing to do is you sit back, you put the drum against the chair, and then you pull it back like this. So it mustn't move. That way you've got both hands access, and okay, come on, okay, Vicky. Let's just go and check that everyone's in. See that lip here? Put that lip, no,
drop it between my legs.
Dancer. So that it sits up against it, doesn't fall down. Loosen it a bit. Nice. Okay, dancer, and then you pull it in at the bottom. Good. Okay. Alright, so remember I said that it's important who we surround ourselves with. We need to be around people who are going to speak positive things into our life and not negative. And you know, one thing that I always used to do, and I must say this is where the Lord's really worked in my life, is talking about other people. Because one of the symptoms, or one of the signs of someone that's going through a depression is that the whole world is to blame. I refuse to take any responsibility, and so I blame the world for everything that's happening. So I want you guys to know that whatever sound comes out of your drum, it's your responsibility, okay? I want you to count to 4 for me. Okay, did that sound like they were synchronized? Okay, so it's important for us to establish a rhythm. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. While you carry on counting, because while you're counting, tell for maybe hard also, I want to hear you. Don't be scared. That's it, nice. So while you're counting, and don't use timing, don't go softer, I want to hear you nice and loud.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. So, did you notice that every time I start speaking, there's a hesitation? And what I'm sharing with you now is, we've got to find someone in our life that we can turn to, who will be a mentor, and that person will instruct us. And despite what happens, we need to constantly just maintain that rhythm. And I'm going to show you a little example just now when we start. Okay. Now carry on. You're going to go. Nice and loud. 3, 4, and 1, 2, 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 3. Okay, carry on counting. 3, 4, and 1, 2. Carry on. And what you'll see now is that we have to do something not for 1 day or 2 days, we have to do it consistently. Because if you can't count properly, you're not going to have the rhythm. And so, the guys from this side, for a chap with a blue shirt there, okay, he's from this side, I want you to count with him. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. This side, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4,
and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4,
and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So now, did you see that? I must say, guys, well done. And I'll tell you why. Because what I was doing is I was giving a bit of interference. They were hitting it 1, 2, 3, 4. And normally what happens is the moment I played something different, then all of a sudden it's like, and it's a simple demonstration. But what it demonstrates is that you don't need to do huge things to find success. And with depression, just getting up sometimes is a victory. And even if you get up and you're up for just an hour and you go back to bed, and the next day you get up just for an hour and 5 minutes, it's a victory. And slow progression. Guys, I want to tell you that 12 years ago, and this is where honesty comes in. 12 years ago, addicted to crystal crack heroin. I tell people that I haven't injected crystal for the last 12 years, which is a lie, because firstly I tried to take my life. And secondly, the reality is that I have fallen in this journey. I have fallen, and if I deny it, who am I lying to? To myself. And the one person we can't get away from is ourselves. It's the one person we go to sleep with, we wake up with. And everybody thinks they know who you are, but only you truly know. So that was well done, guys. Now, the situation here as it is that you've got someone that is leading the way. And we all need that. We need that one person. I mean, ultimately, God is the one, but God will also send people across our paths as well. You will also, okay, apparently I've got to wrap it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little session here. Okay, a nice little jamming session. Where's the mic? Okay. So I'm not going to use the mic for this. Okay, go guys. I'm going to play pop it up, pop it up, pop, pop. If I go pop it up, pop it up, pop, pop, which is slower, that's the non-verbal cue to say, guys, 1, 2. If I go, but I won't be so cruel. So that's an indicator to say this is how fast we're going to go. And then we're going to go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly integrate little things. And this is the process. So, ba, ba, da, ba, ba, da, ba, ba, and boom, boom. Okay, let's try it again. Ba, I'll play that. Ba, ba, da, ba, ba, da, ba, ba, and boom, 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 boom. Hand flat in the middle of the drum. Sit a bit forward towards the drum. Don't leave your hand on the drum, let it bounce off. Okay, and now we're going to just add 1, 2, 3, 4, and 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 1. One, not counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, and say it loud. 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Alright, I forgot to tell you about where we stop. Okay, well done guys. Let's give them a round of applause. That was brilliant. Thank you very much. Nice one, my brother. Thank you so much.
Someone's barking with joy. Huh? Awesome. Bernadette from Pathcare is coming up next. Is in the house. Families, you saw her. She's got some treats for the kids. Please put your hands together for Pathcare's Bernadette.
Thank you for the opportunity to just represent my company, Pathcare Laboratories. I hope we have met somewhere along the way. So we were here today joining with Midval Private Hospital to just to promote Men's Health Month, because men have issues and they don't talk about it, and you know they do. And we need to look after them and we need to love them. And and it's also something quite near to us, as we also are close to men in our professional lives who have issues. So we were just representing that. And we were screening glucose and cholesterol. So if you did come our way, thank you. We appreciate, because that's the reason why we were out on this Saturday morning. I just quickly wanted to say Movember. It's for prostate cancer. So we've got a special. So if you do not have a medical aid and you would like to come to Pathcare and have your blood tested for PSAs, which Dr. Purdy had discussed, then it's 145 Rand, which is 50% discount. So that's for Movember. Then our other promotion is, it's called Yes to Life. So it is a kidney function test. It's a test to see how your kidney is functioning, so that maybe in a month, maybe in 2 years, you are not on dialysis, because that's not where you want to be. So you can take one of our pamphlets, you can scan the QR code in, answer the questions, you'll get a confirmation email, and then you just visit our lab. It's for free. So don't be that one who in 2 years' time on a dialysis machine, and you could have done it for free now. I did it, it's easy, it took 1 minute to do. And then just to end off, I want to give you more information about our name. Okay, Pathcare Laboratory. So the Path is our core business, pathology. Care is our values. So we have values we come to every day. When we're in uniform, when we represent the company, we are governed by these 4 values. The C is for customer focus. For the A is accountability. The R is respect. And the E is for ethics. And that is what governs us, and that's what makes us the laboratory of choice. Thank you very much. Come get. It's for free. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
On the bottom of my way in North Carolina, still no parole, but I got oxy headlights. I'm waiting on the doors, it's empty now. Speaking me a book and dogwood flowers, and I ain't no Ferrari, I can see my baby tonight. So rock me, mama, like a rag on a wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me, yeah. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey. took me down. I ain't turning back to living at all out no more. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. On a train about to nowhere, I met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns at staring out the window at the darkness till the bottom overtook us, and he began to speak. He said, son, I've made a lot out of reading people's faces, knowing what the gods were by the way they held their eyes. So if you must be saying, I can see your eyes.
Die tyd het aangebreek. Waar is hy dromme? Want ek so makkelijk. Ons moet eindelijk ou gekry met die dromme nou, ne? Daar is hy. Begin met die geleentheid om die prysuitdeling waar te neem. En ek wil graag vir Nikkie na vore roep. Nikkie, so nie? As ek jou naam verkeerd sê, gaan jy hoor. Nikkie en Antoinette en François, gaan julle gou hier by my kom staan? Waar is Michael en Linda? Ai, dis jammer. Kom dan nou 'n fotootjie kry. Warren, waar is die stem? Waar is die stem? Groepie, ons kommunikasiegroep, en toe het een van die manne gesê, Warren het 'n radiostem. So Warren, wanneer hy eendag sy beroep wil verander, dan kan hy radio toe gaan. 90.6, ons het vir julle kandidaat vir 'n omroeper. Warren Miller, alright. Ja. Ek doen nie gereeld wat ek nou doen nie. En ongelukkig is 2 van my komiteelede nou by die hek. Hierdie groepie, wat verstaan dit hier mee, en my man is elders. My man, hy hou nie van die line-writing. Ek sê altyd, hoe meer bobbiane daar is, hoe hoor swing ek. So ek hou van mense. Die groepie mense wat hier by my staan, het verlede jaar in November maand toe ons die Stars and Diamonds event gehad het ons gestaan en gesels, en ek het gesê ek is so moeg vir die same old om elke jaar verskillende events te hou, en ek is lus vir een groot event, en hulle het net gesê kom ons doen dit, en het is so awesome om te dink dat daar mense wat eintlik vir my vreemdelinge was, my familie geraak het. Hy is nie meer my vriende nie, hulle is nou my familie, hulle is nou myne. Iemand het vir my, Gustav het vir my gesê, jy sê op die radio, dis jou komitee. Toe sê ek inderdaad, dis my komitee. So ek wil regtig van die geleentheid gebruik maak, Nick, Warren, Antoinette, François en dan Michael en sy lieve vrou Linda, wat nou by die hek is. Het is so jammer dat hulle nou dit mis. Maar ek wil regtig van die geleentheid gebruik maak om julle uit die diepte van my hart uit te sê, ja. Ek moet eers staan.
Don't start a chain reaction.
Ja, ek sê altyd, man, ek moet huil voordat ek kom praat. Maar ja, vreeslik baie dankie, ek waardeer julle regtig. En hierdie sou nie gebeur het, as dit nie vir hierdie mense was wat my sterk gemaak het nie. Ek sê altyd, my hele lewe lang weer, ek is net so sterk leier as die mense wat my ondersteun. En hierdie is absoluut my steunpilare, my krikke, my absoluut alles. So
So nogmaals baie dankie vir julle. Waardeer. Ek gaan vir Nikkie vra om agter te bly by my, nou gaan ons aan met die prysuitdeling. Julle kan maar hande klap. Bye. Dankie. Jy kan nie ver nie. Not too far. Goed, ek gaan sommer vir Nikkie vra om te begin trofee iemand anders oproep om die trofee of sertifikaat te oorhandig. In die derde plek, ons begin ons maar altyd bietjie by die derde plek. In die derde plek vir die show and shine. Ek hoop julle is nog hier. Is nommer 65. Wie is nommer 65? Ek weet nie hoe lyk die motor nie, ek staan net hier. Die mense het gestem, so wie is nommer 65? Afwesig? Hoor allemaal my daar binnen, daar kom 65, hande klap. Is dit nie jy nie? Is dit Jalopie? Tinus? Nee, rechtig. Weet jy nie wat jou nommer van jou motor nie? Jalopie, well done. Jalopie het baie trofees en sertifikate al by ons ontvang, baie geluk. Die shine. Dit is nou 'n papiersertifikaat, maar die komitee lid wat nou nie hier langs my gestaan het en Michael sny die mooiste houtsertifikate uit. Soos wat die trofees is, so gaan jy 'n houtsertifikaat ontvang, Tinus. So maar baie geluk en baie dankie nogmaals dat jy jou moeder gebring het. Het julle die jalopie gesien? Daai vreeslike van die voertuig, daai bakkie, wat hy kan start van die af. Kan jy nog? Hy is nou vers uit. Okay. Maar gaan kyk bietjie na daai motor, is regtig iets besonders en hy het alles self gedoen. Tinus is iets uit 'n ander klas uit. Baie geluk Tinus, hoor. Ja. In die tweede plek van Show and Shine, nommer 22. Nommer 22. Maar sy. Julle moet net, as ons slaas van die prysuitdeling, Melody, hierdie mooi dame wat hier sit, met haar man daar na linkerkant, net by jou voertuig gaan staan, en laat hulle 'n mooi foto van die voertuig saam met jou neem. Baie geluk. As sy. En dan in die eerste plek van die Show and Shine, allemaal woner. Nommer 17. Ja, anders toe om. Sy is so skaam en stil enetjie. So ene moet altyd tussen ons wees. So ou sagte een. Ja, net Antoinette. En die engine bay se derde plek is nommer 65. Wie is 65? Hi, Tinus. Gelukkig weet jy wat jou nommer nou is, hè? Tinus is net so beskeie. Staan net mooi. Sy. Ja. 22. Ek is eintlik gaan kyk hoe lyk haar motor. Is dit 'n Scooby? Ek kan nie dit staan. Congrats. as nommer 17. Voor lekker hande klap. So, ons gaan nou die People's Choice trofees oorhandig. Die People's Choice, soos wat julle weet, gaan absoluut oor die stemme wat plaasgevind het. Ek het so 'n paar jaar terug toe ons die museum geopen het, toe was hier 'n enorme klomp motors gewees. En daai dag was die RSI kaartklub ook teenwoordig. En Jan Pan se vrou wat die president van die RSI kaartklub is, hy het vir my gesê, Charlotte, wil julle nie meer dit oorgaan na stembriefies te doen? Die ouens hanteer dit baie beter. Want genigtig, om 3 beoordelaars vir data te verwerk in 'n halfuur se tyd, het dit nie gewerk nie. Ek het 'n ou t-shirt by gebrand, 'n mooi nuwe ene. So, dit gaan oor die stemme. In die derde plek vir die People's Choice trofee gaan aan nommer 22.
Who did you pay?
Who did you pay? You? Oh, he said he's going to pay me now. We can just go around the corner, yes. So the trophy, that is for the People's Choice third place. Well done. Okay. It was tussen die Stars and Diamonds. Okay. Well done. Just turn around with your trophy so that they can take a nice pic. Snors event 2025 will be number 17. Well done. Fire. Paul, kom staan hier so by ons. Hoeveel trofees het jy by Kreerskroon al verower?
5.
5 en dan plus die Boulevard. Nou sê, die Boulevard gaan Louis, by die eienaar van Kreerskroon is, hy gaan dit nou oorhandig en dan gaan hy julle 'n bietjie agtergrond gee oor die Boulevard, maar die Boulevard is een van die trofees wat Paul gewen het met daai klein eskortjie. Sy, baie geluk, baie geluk. En dankie nogmaals dat jy altyd Kreerskroon kies om by te kom uitstaan. Die stem, hoe is die stem? Hier kom hy. Gee hom 'n lekker dromme. Ons die trofee oorhandig omdat Warren is deel van die SA Kaartklub magazine saam met Nikki, as julle nog nie weet nie. Dis waar ons pad begin het, is by die boom wat hier geplant is, hier agter. Die agter die boom wat geplant is was in nagedagtenis van Nick Bekes, wat so 2 jaar terug oorlede is, wat Nick se vader is, en dis waar ons mekaar ontmoet het, en dis waar ons hierdie wonderlike geseënde pad begin stap het. So, Warren is nie deel van 'n motorklub nie, alhoewel hy baie mooi motor ry, en baie passievol is, en soveel vir ons gedoen het, met die komitee en die beplanning en alles. Hy sê altyd, hy is in die Peanut Gallery, dus ek klim nou 'n bietjie uit die Peanut Gallery uit. So Warren gaan vir ons die trofee oorhandig vir the most represented club. All the best represented club. Wie sou julle sê was die best represented club? As julle nou so gestap het tussen die motors en goede, wie sou julle vir my sê, wie was die meeste motors? Netherlands, the RS crew. Well done, guys. Who is accepting this trophy? Nadia? Julle moet hierdie vrou se naam sien. Sy is passievol oor Reynold. Maak jou naels. Ek bly jy maak so. Hierdie trofee is 'n floating trofee, so hy moet terugkom volgende jaar. Dit is 'n wisseltrofee. Ons gaan hom volgende jaar, julle gaan weer meeding vir hom, né? Dis hy. Ons hoop hy bly by julle. Baie baie geluk. Dankie Warren. Ek gaan nou vir Louis Kreer, die eienaar van Kreerskroon. Louis is dat. Ek gaan vir Louis vra om die boelewoord te oorhandig en dan sommer namens sy seun Gustav wat altyd in die agtergrond is, of miskien met 'n Christel vra om dit te doen, né? Gaan. Ja. Kan jy net dit? Christel, terwyl jy so hardloop, kom gou by. Waar toe hardloop jy? Nee man, gaat 2 minute af. Christel, ek gaan, nou weet ek al so by in die omgewing, in die ingewing van die oomblik, my tong knip, vra om die James Choice te oorhandig namens jou broer. Is daar enetjie? Ja. Die algemene bestuurder van Kreerskroon het besluit hierdie medalje, ek het ongelukkig nie 'n lint aan hom gesit nie, maar hierdie medalje gaan aan nommer 16. Nommer 16.
Ons eie.
Is juist, nommer 16. Well done. François. Baie geluk François. Staan nou dat Christel die ding vir jou oorhandig. Christel staan so langs 'n mooi man. As sy mikrofoon vir Louis oorhandig, dat Louis vir julle 'n bietjie agtergrond gee oor die boelewoord en dan gaan hy die boelewoord saam met Nikki oorhandig. Baie dankie. En dan heel laaste gaan Nikki die wooden spoon oorhandig. Daar moet so iemand ook wees. Dis hy. Louis.
Charlotte, baie dankie. Ek wil net van hierdie oomblik gebruik maak voor ons die boelewoord oorhandig, net om vir al Kreerskroon se staf, al die vrywilligers wat hier kom help het, al die mense wat ingestaan het, die komitee wat ure, nagte, dae wakker gebly het en wakker gelê het, Charlotte wat nooit geslaap het nie, Nikki wat in pantoffels video sit op Facebook, hoe sy goed pres en so aan vir hierdie dinge, is Antoinette, François, Warren, Michael, almal wat daai effort ingesit het en wat onbaatsigtelik bygedra het in hierdie ding, wat ek net uit my hart uit sê baie dankie. Ek wil ook nie dankie sê vir 90.6, hulle het vir my 'n paar deure oopgemaak in Witwaal Hospitaal, privaat hospitaal wat ons help met menshelp en hulle gaan ons spesiale tariewe gee om te kyk na menshelp en so. En vandaag was die deure oopgemaak vir Pathcare en vir Lancet en vir ander persone wat graag wil deelneem aan hierdie hele menshelp aktiwiteit en Light of Life of Liquidity Foundation wat gestig is. So, ons gaan 'n pad loop, dit gaan elke jaar gebeur, ons het 'n hele paar ander planne. Daar's 'n hele paar goeie voorstelle wat gemaak is deur van hierdie gemeenthede of eenhede om ons vorentoe te laat gaan. En dis heel excited. So, die beginsel vir ons op hierdie stadium gaan is Celebrating Wheels. En die Nikki het oorgevat by haar pa, Nick Bekes. Hy het geweet om wheels te celebrate. Dit is een van sy sterkpunte en het is so lekker om te sien dat Warren en Nikki daai passie opgetel het, wat sy nie die hele tyd betrokke was nie en hardloop met daai passie. Dit is uitstekend. Dit is Ek sê vir haar baie, dit is so lekker om saam met haar te werk en al hierdie dinge te beleef en te sien. Sy word nou al deel van kleerskole. Dus, so, ons het baie unieke mense wat rondom ons is, ons het baie unieke mense wat ons help en support, en wat omgee vir karre, dit is al wat tel. Ek het nou gesê vir die dokter toe hier was, ek gaan nie bloed vat vandag nie, want toe ek gebore is, was daar nie bloed in die hospitaal, en het gegee vir my Castrol GTX, want hulle gaan niks suiker of niks bloeddruk of niks toets nie. So, die Boulevard het 'n geskiedenis aan hom, soos julle weet, doen ons gereeld kaartkoue gedoen hierso, want hierdie jaar is dit nou die eerste keer wat ons net een kaartkou het. En saam met Subaru van Crew het ons begin met 'n tradisionele Subaru van Crew, waar baie Subarus hier nou toe gekom het. En een van die persone wat met die Subaru van Crew te doen het, sy naam is Wayne Bull. Wayne Bull het een van die GTS Subarus gehad. Aangevoerde kar, baie duur Subaru. Maar daai kar speel in movies en hy word gebruik in advertensies in Suid-Afrika en so. Elke week het hy 'n facelift gehad. Elke week het hy 'n ander merktop gehad, elke week het hy 'n ander ligtop gehad, want hulle moet die hele tyd die kar aanpas vir wat hy moet doen in die advertensiewêreld. So as hy hier gekom het, was dit seker een van die uniekste karre wat daar was. Air suspension, ek kan nie vir julle sê wat dit alles in gehad nie. En met die gevolg is hy altyd gewen. En ons het net eendag hier so gesit en gedink, op die ingewing van die oomblik het ons net besluit, ek sal dit doen, Gustav, want ons gaan 'n spesiale award en ons gaan een kar 'n spesiale award gee vir die dag wat uitstaan by die ander karre uit ons perspektief uit. Laat daar fair competition is, as ek dit so kan stel. Want jy nie altyd net een kar het om te wen. En toe het ons die Bull Award gemaak. Nou, ek dink Wayne Bull is nogal baie trots omdat sy naam op die award is. En het so, nommer 49. Dit is die kar wat ons gekies het vandag, wat baie spesiaal is om ons iets anders te sê as die normaal wat in 'n kar is. En ons het besluit om die Bull Award van nommer 49 te gee. Hy gaan my kompetisie verloor met die Snors storie, so ek is gediskwalifiseer daar. Daar is baie geluk. Baie spesiaal, baie werk in hy kar ingesit, baie geluk.
This is rather amazing fun. Thank you, Yella. So, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to do this in English because my daughter in New Zealand helped us put all of this together as well. She was responsible for all the marketing material that you saw on Facebook, all our WhatsApp statuses, for the vendors, for Park Ford, for the car dealers that are here. So I promised her that I would just let everybody know that Skylar Cass helped us. She can't be here with us, unfortunately. She's in New Zealand. She designed the certificate for the Wooden Spoon Award. The Wooden Spoon Award, for those of you who don't know, is an award that's going to the dirtiest car. Good. All right. So the Wooden Spoon Award goes to number 62. Number 62. Do we have number 62? No? No, gone home. It's a car van was. Two so nominated. Did you put your thingy in your windscreen? Oh dear. Only the MC. Antoinette, can we quickly check who's number 2? Who was the second runner-up? Do you have it? Do we have number 65 here? How can you be the dirtiest and show and shine? Something's not right here. Okay, so you get a certificate for a car wash. Congratulations again. Okay, dankie julle. Charlotte.